Hey there, guys. Welcome to a special episode of TV Dudes. So special, we're not even sure Grant knows we're recording it.
Haha.
This is a Crazy Ex-Girlfriend focus episode.
Wait, this isn't the Lost bashing? I thought we were doing a special episode.
No, man. That's the next season of Good Die Young.
Damn it.
So with me tonight,
I'm Les.
And I'm Lisa.
and you might not know Lisa's voice, but Lisa has been on Good Die Young.
I say everybody should know Lisa's voice because every one of our listeners has been completist and has gotten all the way through the Good Die Young at this point. Right?
And listened to
Of
Beach
course.
Cops twice.
Yes.
Yeah, I hope. And I'm Randy, if I didn't introduce myself. And we just came off going to the Crazy Ex-Girlfriend live show in Austin.
Technically, not the Crazy Ex-Girlfriend cast live. They are doing shows that are branded Crazy Ex-Girlfriend cast, and those are only going to northern states, which they swear is not a political move.
I don't know about this. That sounds a little suspect.
I mean, I think bands for years, the Grateful Dead wouldn't play the South. I mean, like bands for years.
That's-
But
wouldn't-
we're
legit.
Texas. Everyone, never mind. I can't even.
So many
can't even,
people got
sorry.
arrested in Texas. Bands just stopped playing here. But this was Rachel Bloom, Adam Schlesinger, and Jack
You better look
Doggle.
You
that
got
up.
you
Oh,
got
gotta
so
look
much
that up.
closer.
You
You
better
got
look
so
that
much
up.
closer than I would have. I would have gotten to Rachel Bloom and
There
stopped.
was also a drummer.
All right, having actually checked our notes now, we can safely say that we saw Randy
Rachel Bloom, Adam Schlesinger, and Jack Dolgen.
Dolgen.
And Ethan the drummer.
And
Yes.
Ethan the drummer.
Ethan the drummer was quite funny. Adam Schlesinger, I've known who that guy was for years. He was Fountains of Wayne. He was Stacy's mom, or he wrote Stacy's mom. He wrote That Thing You Do.
What?
Yeah, I think he's responsible for that
He
song.
has he's at least been EGOT nominated. Did you see them listing it all out? And
He's,
then
he's
another
won
one.
2 of 4, and he's been nominated for the other one. So at least in nominations, he's got his EGOT nominations.
That was crazy because I did not know that about Adam Schlesinger. I knew that he was on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, and that was the extent of my knowledge, and that was because we were going to a show that he was in. So I love Fountains of Wayne. I had no idea who was in it. And when they started playing Stacy's mom, I was very surprised. And yeah, I didn't know he'd done any of that stuff.
Yeah, he's that dude just churns out catchy shit.
Mm-hmm.
So like it made total sense to find out that he was involved in this show. Like, of course you're producing all this music.
And the songs are great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this was basically Rachel Bloom singing and performing with the guys on bass and drums and piano and also singing. And they did some of the songs from the show. And I feel like they did a couple that maybe weren't from the show.
Yes, they started off with the Sexy Stranger song, which
Yes.
I don't think you've maybe seen or heard.
I don't think I have.
My
Yeah.
best friend back home sent it to me when I turned around to the show, and I was like, this woman is a genius.
So when I first got turned on to the show, I had a couple of friends on my Facebook feed that were just raving about it. And this show did similar to John Oliver's smart move. It packages very well for YouTube because they've clipped the songs out and then just dropped those on YouTube. And that's straight up that's what got me into the show. I think our friend Marcus had posted a bunch of the songs from it from the first season. And so I went down this rabbit hole of all these YouTube songs with no context
don't
as
think
to
you
the
need
storylines. No, I mean, you figure it out, but I didn't know always which ones were in the show and which ones were just her prior to the show. Mm-hmm. And so I had seen a couple of these that I kept thinking, like, what episode did that turn up in? Like, oh, no, it was just...
There's no Ray Bradbury.
Yeah, there's no-
in the actual.
Yeah.
And that was what I was going to say is I knew Rachel Bloom from Fuck Me Ray Bradbury, but I didn't know that I knew her because I'd seen that viral video a couple of years before Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, and I loved it, and I thought it was hilarious. And then I wasn't watching Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I didn't know what it was. And then someone mentioned that it was the person who did that, and I immediately went and watched it. I also didn't know it was a musical because I love musicals. And so
See,
I felt
I
completely
come
in
at
love.
it from a completely different side. I kind of hate musicals.
What?
I know.
That's not that uncommon, I guess.
It's like it seems so weird to me for people to break out in song. At the same time, you know me, I'm very musical.
Yes.
I love music. I just feel like it's such a weird thing for people to break out and song and dance on the street. But the songs in that show are so good that I was like, yeah, it's fine.
You know what's
That's
awesome?
fine.
If this were a musical, we'd break out in a song about how weird it is to break out in a song.
Yeah.
If we were as awesome as Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, we would do that.
We would do that, yes.
Because, life is not always a sitcom. Or wait.
Well, then why are we all cheating at this table right now?
Yeah, so we've talked a little bit about it on TV Dudes, but I don't think we talked too much about this season. We maybe covered the first episode back.
Yeah, we covered it early on, but not the wrap up at all. Yeah.
So, what did you guys think of the season?
I really okay. So I watched all of the season, like this season, all of the seasons this season.
Okay, so you rewatched everything.
Yeah, she got into the show and marathoned it.
I got into it like a month ago.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, there was a point where she had to step over onto the CW app for like she messaged me like, okay, I've run out of Netflix.
And I can't stop on season 2. No. There's 3 seasons.
I was like, yeah, no, you got to flip over to the CW app now. And
so I've spent money on.
Oh wow.
Some of the audio is going to be off
Crazy
the lips.
Ex-Girlfriend. Yes, absolutely, because I could not stop watching it. And again, not a musical fan. So, I mean, I kind of know all of it immediately.
So how do you compare? Do you think season 3 was the strongest, or?
I think season 3 is the natural progression of what it's like in reality. Like, I feel like it's in season 1, everything is like really funny and it's a lot like regular comedies. There's a little darkness to it. You start to she starts to realize maybe she's got some issues that need to be dealt with. And like season 2, like she starts to lose some people that maybe, the very special suicide episode. Mm-hmm. Didn't that happen in season 2? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
I think that's
that was season 2 because she gets her diagnosis after.
Exactly. And then she gets her diagnosis, and season 3 is all about like trying to come to terms and heal herself now that she has her diagnosis in hand. And I found it to be just it gets truer and truer every year, I think.
In season 1, this was definitely the type of show where I watch it and I love the quirkiness and I love what they're doing and dealing with, but this is going to have a hard time sustaining as a show. Because
no, it's not going to have a hard time because that's what all the shows on TV are like.
But it's never going to
quirky and fun and
like
weird.
they're never going to be able to deal with ramifications from watching season 1 and thinking if this is a normal sitcom, you guys can't deal with the ramifications from this. Like either this ditches any actually trying to deal with mental health stuff and continues to just reboot and loop where there's no consequences, or the show has to deal with the hey, that's not really funny stuff that happened in the first season. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then in season 2 it did. Plus season 2 had Paula's abortion, did it not?
It did.
Yeah.
Which they also dealt with they didn't go very special episode or anything, like they didn't stop the whole show to deal with the agonizing, like it was a choice that she made and it was dealt with.
Right.
So as they built across it, I felt like season 3, if you'd asked me is the plot of season 3 where I would want a sitcom to go? God, no.
Yeah.
No sitcom should have to go to these places. Is it the place where this sitcom had to go? Absolutely. And then they pulled it off. I feel like season 3 fits perfectly of a piece with the other 2. The way we talk about You're the Worst, that sitcoms just shouldn't keep arcing up. Like you guys should fuck this up at some point, or have your cousin Ollie Caesar, where you got to add an extra character or whatever.
Right.
And You're the Worst just hasn't seemed to have done that. I feel like Crazy X, it knew what show it was at the start and it stayed on it.
Yeah. And they did introduce their cousin Oliver because they introduced Nathaniel, who could so easily have been a bad character.
Yes. I got a little worried when they introduced Nathaniel and broadened out the office a hair.
Yeah. But instead, I think it really works. I thought Nathaniel really came into his own this season. In fact, there's that bit in one of the songs where he basically sings about how just because I'm a regular cast member or something like that, and they're like, and what we mean by that is, I love
that song.
Yes, Scott Michael Foster is that actor's name, and I cannot believe that I know the actor that played Nathaniel from previous work, and I mean I did not recognize him. He played Cappy, who is like the scruffy president of the Animal House fraternity in Greek, and so he's basically Nathaniel looks like the guy he mocked and fought the whole show of Greek, and to see him so clean cut and killing it is just amazing.
He talks about the ski resort, right?
Yes.
Where he's the villain in a ski movie. He's like, but in his mind, he's the hero.
It's like, no, those condos would have,
those condos would have been great.
Oh, no, that was...
Oh, do I have my shows mixed up?
Yes, that was LA to Vegas.
Oh, that was... Never mind, cut that.
That's not how we work here.
No.
No, but Nathaniel totally looks like a ski villain.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I guess,
His dad's going to buy the mountain.
My favorite unsung character, who they really don't do a lot with, but Esther Poovey. who is a stand-up comedian. She's just like the little tiny girl in the office. I love everything she does.
The millennial.
Yes, I love everything she does.
That wants a mentor so bad.
Yes. She is my favorite. I actually really like what they've done with the Office character.
She was on the show for longer than I realized.
Yeah, she's been on a while.
I thought they'd added that character, and then I went back and watched episodes and went, oh, God damn it, she was there the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
They mention when they hire her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought the arcs were interesting. So like all the stuff with like Rebecca being like out of the law firm and that kind of stuff, like that's kind of brave to do. You shake up your status quo pretty heavily.
They started season 3 with me feeling like the show had come around to almost acknowledging her as the villain.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that like and it was part of their long game of dealing with the consequences of her previous season's actions, but they let it all stack up and so we start this season with like, no, we know the laundry list of shit you did. You are definitely the villain in the show right now.
And she stops that, though, by giving them the laundry list of shit she did.
Which is amazing.
And owning up to
also,
it.
they bring in Trent.
Okay.
Which lets us have a...
So Trent, there was so much good Trent stuff. First of all, giving him last season's theme song.
I know.
Wasn't that amazing?
Yes.
I love the parallels that are drawn between those two characters.
You can't call him
crazy. They
crazy.
even sing the same song.
Yes.
Like, so sexy getting ready. Or Settle for Me.
Yes.
Oh my God, I
so
love
good.
It makes this truism work so well. We like we were talking about the Miranda Lambert song, Before He Cheats.
Mm-hmm.
That
came on the radio
that
the
came-
other
right.
day, and I was like, oh my God, they had the crazy that can't. That's not right. That's not on the radio.
So that's one of many songs that you can never gender flip at karaoke.
Yeah.
No guy should ever get up and sing that. You sound
my
like
God.
a fucking psychopath.
Oh my God, I just did the lyrics in my head.
No, you can't do it. And so it immediately happens. Like when Trent sings some of these songs, like, you can't call him crazy, because when you call him crazy, you're just calling him in love. Like, it's immediately
It's so
terrifying
much
when it's a big built dude in a turtleneck with like this manic, like, oh God.
Let's just admit, though, that he is a little worse than Rebecca.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
no,
for
he's
sure.
he's
I mean-
overcranked way past it. Yeah.
But also, I guess he's gone now.
Well, no. He's in a body cast.
Oh, that's right.
Again.
That's true. Yeah.
And if that he has
man.
the same doctor, he'll be out in the woods or out in the desert with the coyotes before you know it.
Oh
my
man.
gosh.
Yeah. The Trent arc was just such a great way to wrap that season.
But like, she might go to jail, you guys.
I know.
So that was the
Les doesn't like that part.
Yeah. So I had issue with that one thing at the end of the season. Not with her going to jail for some stuff she did, but for the specific thing that the show has sent her to jail for.
She didn't do it.
She didn't fucking do that.
Yeah.
She's actually going to jail for a frame job
Yeah.
when she actually did a bunch of shit. Like the hit on Nathaniel's
Yes.
on Mona.
Yeah. That she might have ordered.
That she might have might have canceled.
I definitely might have canceled.
Oh, right.
Like, that's a crime.
Yeah. The problem is if you put her in jail for crime she actually committed, you can't have her come out.
So what irritated me about it was that they use her admission of guilt, like they use it doubly.
She pleads responsible.
She pleads responsible, but she actually says the word guilty, like she's going to go to jail for this.
Yeah.
It's not a satisfying guilty like acceptance of responsibility to me, because the thing that she's accepting responsibility for is not the thing she's accepting. I mean, she's looking at Paula and all these people in the courtroom and saying all this, and then she should have turned around and fought that stupid fucking charge from Trent.
Yeah.
And she is like, top lawyer or whatever.
There were also a couple of decisions in the course of the Trent thing that, where I wanted to go, you're a lawyer, you're a lawyer, you're a lawyer.
You realize that this isn't even like, if he died, it would have been manslaughter at best.
But you can beat
this. You did
this.
not murder him.
Yeah.
You have beat ridiculous shit. Yeah. I mean, a part of it is her being defeated at this point and hitting her sartorial moment.
But how great is that song that they sing in do you know the room where they're, I guess, what's his name? I can't. Nathaniel and Rebecca, they're in the interrogation room.
The interrogation room.
And they start singing a song Do you know this song? It's like, it's not our fault. Our
Yes.
parents messed us
Oh,
up.
man, that was
and
so
then,
good.
And it was all because of the Big Bang.
Oh, yes,
It's
yes,
all
no.
the Big Bang's fault.
Yeah, God messed his kid up because he was messed up by the Big Bang. And then, like, but it's the light that goes on in their eyes at the same time when
Yeah.
they both realize
It's all
the Big Bang's fault.
None of this is our responsibility.
Yeah, the
I
blame
love it.
shifting upwards
Yeah.
is just, that song's amazing.
And we're messed up because our parents are messed up, and our parents are messed up because
Yeah,
their
and
parents
the God originally messed up Adam and Eve, and God himself was messed up by the
it's so great.
So I want to, Lisa, you burned through all of this, so you might have a fresh in your mind. Do you have a favorite song of all the songs in Crazy Ex-Girlfriend?
I love Without Love, You Can Change the World.
Yeah.
Do you know that song
Yes.
when they're like singing?
Yes.
I get that song stuck in my head on the regular.
Oh, that's
I
nice.
saw several people in the audience with the heart with the X
Yeah.
shirt, the
Yeah.
T-shirts from the
That
background
would be
singers
That
from
was a
that
easy
song.
one
great
to
song.
do.
That was
Yeah.
the season, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the season.
That was a great one.
Out in the park.
They
mean-
closed out the live show with the heavy boobs, and they invited every woman in the audience to come on the stage, and a lot of them did.
Well, and that audience, we were maybe a fifth. Guys were maybe a fifth.
Oh
of
yeah,
that
we
room.
were not heavily
You
represented.
think it was that many?
maybe. I think half of the seated people were women who didn't want to go on stage.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah.
but
Me.
You.
But yeah, they all lined up and danced, and I saw of course, the people up front were the people who are totally okay with being on stage, and they were singing along and dancing and taking selfies.
Yep.
That was amazing.
That was great.
It was super cute.
Yeah. Her interaction with the crowd through the whole thing was just
Yeah.
Her
great.
interaction with those guys, like I can just imagine their tour bus or whatever they're
Yeah.
on. That I don't feel like any of that was planned.
No,
Other
I don't
than
think
like
so.
they had a set list and it was like, yeah, we'll just get up there and shoot the shit together. And
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, we're best friends.
I feel like he might actually have been ribbing her about the above ground pool for a
for
while.
sure. I think that was real.
Oh yeah,
I think they might have been screwing with her about that for a while.
it's gonna have a window in it.
I'm really
though.
amazed he missed the pool
Stacy's mom.
in Stacy's mom.
I know.
Because they
Above
do the
ground- above-
above ground.
yeah. How did
Yeah.
they not lean forward and do above ground pool?
I feel like he probably thought
Son of a
Too much.
next
too far
time.
from the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
next time.
he would have to race to the mic. Because
Yeah.
I thought that. Did you guys both think
Yes.
that same
Oh, yeah,
thing? Oh my
100%.
god, it would have been perfect.
Yeah, I'm
So
pretty
if
sure
you're
the people-
listening, add that to your set.
And the two people in front of me, I'm sorry that you heard above ground pool from behind
Yeah.
you. Because it happened.
I mean, we could try to explain what all that meant to you guys, but I'm just glad we know we were all on the same
Yeah,
page.
so they covered Stacy's mom.
Yeah.
In a slow reprise at
Yeah.
the end of that show. That was for
was really
folks
good.
who didn't get to go. That was so amazing.
Yeah, and if you're in the north, apparently you can still go see this show
Oh my God,
with
go
the
do it.
cast.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you should go.
I have honestly never laughed that much, that frequently, and feeling as if I was not possibly able to laugh loud enough. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I wanted
Yeah.
to laugh so much louder without sounding like a weird primate in the back of the room because it was so hilarious.
Yeah,
really fun.
I wiped tears away a couple times. That
Yeah.
was just amazing.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys this. Do you think Josh Chan has outlived, and I want to be clear, I'm not saying we should kill him. Do you think Josh Chan has outlived his usefulness to the show?
Oh,
'Cause I don't think-
you want to kill him.
I don't know. I don't want. I specifically said I didn't want to
Yeah,
kill
but
him.
that's what you would say if you wanted to kill somebody.
Yeah, but then the cops can't
So
do anything
that-
about it. I know the law. I'm a lawyer.
This might be a crime, Randy.
This might be a crack.
This might be a crime.
It's not pet insurance fraud, but it might be a crime.
That's
guys.
another reference, by the way, and that
Oh
was
my God.
amazing. What a great story.
Um,
So, I mean, do you guys think Josh? I thought Josh's arc has been a little weak.
them turning him into a DJ and having Valencia get a girlfriend and
Yeah.
all that, like I don't feel like they're done with Josh Chan. I feel like there's still a great arc to come for that dude, but I feel like he got a little bit of short shrift. If anybody did
Yeah.
in season 3, I don't feel like Josh got as much time to me.
Well, I think it makes sense that he wouldn't be the spotlight of the show. She's way into Nathaniel or
Yeah.
herself at this
Yep.
time.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's not going to just go away. He's friends with all those people.
Well, and this is a pretty recent development. Season 3 is the first time that they had any episode that didn't have Josh in the title was season 3.
That's true. Nathaniel took over.
Yep. Every single episode has been Josh something.
Yeah.
And so, you know, the guy can probably go 4 or 5 episodes without his name in the title before I try to kill him off.
I'm just saying. We lost Greg, and Greg. There was still so much story for Greg.
I really, I miss Greg.
I want Greg to come back in
Me
season
too.
4.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking that when I was just like the depth that has all over the.
Yes.
I was like, I miss Greg.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that song made me think of him.
Well, and
no, it was the piano song when he was sitting down about
Yes.
the Thanksgiving, and I was like, oh, wouldn't it be great if he came back in season 4 and like he's not an alcoholic anymore, and she's totally taking care of herself, and Nathaniel, he's a great guy and everything, but
Yeah.
Santino Fontana is the actor that plays Greg, and he and Donna Lynn Champlin,
Paula.
and who plays Paula, and Vella Lavelle, who plays Heather, are all Broadway performers or off
Okay.
Broadway performers.
Uh-huh. Did he?
So
was there something that caused him to leave the show? I thought there was some reason that I mean, it seemed abrupt when they wrote
Probably
him out.
sexual harassment because that's like the thing now.
It's actually true. Yes. God, I
I'm
hope
sorry,
that's not true.
this is completely unfounded.
At the time,
Nobody will. He's a lovely man, I'm sure.
at the time, at the time that arc happened, when they wrote him off of the show to go to rehab and go off to Emory and all that, I thought it was really abrupt and thought something happened. Either that actor really got sick or something really, and I wondered if the whole Greg's an alcoholic thing was come up with very suddenly.
Yeah.
It wasn't. They were planning that from like episode 2 of season 1.
Huh.
But
That's interesting.
but it's still, I mean, because I wondered that too. Like I think it's that I felt like Greg was coming into his own as a character and was about to be this other Josh Chan.
Yeah.
And he went a different.
I kind of love that they sent him away though, because
the
that's
send him away
the only
song.
good thing to do with that man. Like, because he was a good person.
Yeah.
Yes, I really the song I wish they had done tonight. I missed getting to hear "Shit Show."
Oh yeah.
I love that song.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. And
Like-
"Settle for Me," that one's a good one too.
Yes.
I also thought what they did with Valencia this season was really good. That's a character I thought could easily have been like written off. Like she was the foil.
Yeah.
And then she like, I'm surprised she came back for season 2
Yeah.
because her story was done. And instead they really incorporated her in a really good way.
And that's the reason I wouldn't want to see Josh Chan go away.
Fair.
Is because I really didn't see a path forward for Valencia that I could possibly give a shit about.
Yeah.
And I've liked her on, like, she's become this functioning needed part of the girl group that they've got.
Yeah. I also really liked Heather's arc this season. I've always liked that actress. I've always liked that character.
Yeah, Heather's my favorite thing on the show, I think. Her deadpanness.
Yes.
And her parents being wonderful.
Yeah, of course.
All the stuff with her life just gets better and better. Like when I think it gets revealed at the end of season 1 that as far as she's concerned, she's just basically studying Rebecca. Like as a sociology class project. Yeah, when she's a student.
But I'm a student. She's got that great song too, and she has to like figure out what to do with her life.
Yes, I love all of her, like whenever she does her songs and it's just grudgingly like
She doesn't want, and to hear that she's brought, like, you would think you would almost do that to somebody who doesn't have the greatest voice, but like really great comedic timing, so you don't want to.
Yeah, that she doesn't want to be in the show. That she doesn't want to be doing the music. Yeah, but she's great. And then I thought the surrogate parent stuff was also one of those things that could have gone wrong, but I thought they did that story really well. And I thought that having Heather decide to just take the baby on a whim.
Yeah, I find that to be. I mean, well, this is probably myself. I put myself into all my feelings, of course, but no, I would never do that. No, that's crazy. That's insane.
What did you guys think of the time jump? Because I thought that was great. They show us all this stuff like this is going to happen and this is going to happen, and then they jump.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like that time jump kind of also helped to explain that Paula really did have an abortion. Because they never outright say, and I kind of love that Paula made the choice. She has this. You see her struggle with the choice, and then you see her husband bring her soup in bed, but she could have just been, tired because she's pregnant.
But then they don't have a.
And then they don't have, like, she's not pregnant.
Right.
Like, you see her and you see Heather, and Heather's pregnant and she's not. And
that's
it's kind of like.
Really good point.
I thought it was. I don't believe that they ever outright said it, and that just seemed to serve as an extra.
But that's, especially like the way you put it, that's a deliberate contrast, like that Heather is pregnant and she's not. And that's just a highlight. Wow, that's really, I hadn't even noticed, but I think that's really good.
Having Paula's character be such the bestie and just so there to prop up and support whatever shenanigans Rebecca's up to in season 1. Across season 2 and 3, watching Paula have her own life and then have her own problems in her life and then try to deal with, so that by this point there's almost a separate Paula show that we could be watching that is being fucked up by Rebecca's show. That like Paula's almost got her shit together to launch, and
I honestly think Paula is my favorite character on the show. And I think that, a lot of what you said, 2 and 3 is where they set that up and deepened that character and made her my favorite.
We should say, along with this special episode, I got to interview Donna Lynn Champlin that plays Paula, and we'll be releasing that interview on Monday. And I asked her what her favorite story arc was for Paula, and the abortion arc was the thing that she said most just flat out impressed her.
Yeah. It was really well done, I thought. Like, it didn't beat it to death. We've all had this discussion 1,000 times.
Didn't make a very special episode out of it.
Yeah. She's a grown woman. She's not this young girl that doesn't have her life together. You know,
she has kids.
She has kids. She's she's got a good job. Her husband's they're married. It's like, sometimes it doesn't look the way you think it looks, and it doesn't have to be all fanfare and stuff. I thought it was beautifully executed. I really liked it.
By the way, add it to the list of topics that sitcoms probably shouldn't generally address, and that's one of the reasons that Crazy Ex-Girlfriend works, is that they can do that kind of thing.
Borderline disorder might be something that's hard for a sitcom to address, too, or alcoholism, or, parental... And I guess a lot of sitcoms do parental stuff,
but not to the level of like Rebecca's mom. There's, I think that not only is it a sitcom doing it, it's a sitcom musical with sort of this heightened, imaginary elements to it.
Full of diversity. Can we note the diversity? Yeah. Oh my God.
Took the words out of my mouth. Yeah, and they get props for this. I know it's been mentioned before, and there's articles on it. There was recently a really good Bustle article on the diversity casting for this show, but it's not just that, like the very first Penis song with Paula, the 2 women from the store that's immediately turn and become the backup singers and dancers because it's a musical. It's a black woman and an older white lady. Even in both those choices, in small little background ways, they went for diversity casting.
Well, on the show, I mean, they don't even contribute to bi erasure. They've got bisexual characters, which is not common.
Having Josh Chan be Filipino, and having that heritage be a significant part of his storyline, that is actually part of they are trying on the casting to match the cultural makeup of actual West Covina, which has a Filipino population, and they wanted to show that. Plus, there aren't Asian male romantic leads on television.
Right, that's true. Yeah. So I guess for me calling for Josh Chan's death, I'm actually I'm a bad person.
Another white dude.
I'm a bad person.
So they should just bring back Greg? Is that what you want?
My God.
You want Greg? You wanted to settle down with Nathaniel? The tall, blonde, white guy?
Well, this has been a great episode, guys.
Generalizing men here.
Let's generalize about men.
Yeah.
But this show, it doesn't just do, it does diversity spectacularly well. One of the things that I had heard come up in interviews and doing research to talk to Donna Lynn Champlin is that they never make Paula's weight a thing. She
true.
Is a middle-aged woman that is sexually active, or that is sexual and is a real person. And when she eats, she just eats food. She does it. There's never a thing about it.
Right.
Which I think is just spectacular. It seems like every other show would have, had a moment where they either made a joke about it or someone gives her shit for eating a donut or something.
Well, even Rebecca's character, she's not a size 2, and she talks about how the fat shaming but she's not always trying to lose weight. I mean, she's not on every fad diet.
It usually only comes up around Valencia, and it's when Valencia's bitching about having gained a third of a pound because of 3 weeks of lethargic.
You can see she's struggling with the way her mom treated her weight. She's got issues with it because of childhood issues, which I can totally relate to 152,000%.
Randy, on the TV News, we talk about sci-fi stuff, sci-fi shows a lot.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I think makes sci-fi succeed as a genre and is the reason that it will never die is that by going into the future and giving shiny, fancy flying cars and jetpacks and robots and shit, you can sneak in a slightly heavier-handed or more on the nose, like moral lesson or social point, then I will let you get away with in This Is Us.
Yeah, because it's in the future.
If there's some shiny robot shit to look at in the meantime,
I don't have to deal with this. My great grandchildren do.
Then we will listen to you talk about this panic-inducing problem, like all of humanity's going to starve in 100 years. Whoo, robots!
Good thing that I don't have to.
Well,
be there.
I feel like this sitcom if this show set out to tackle all these things, if it were like Parenthood or This Is Us or something that was setting out
sort of
dead serious
drama
to address trying to move after your boyfriend or not even your boyfriend, like a guy you knew in camp in like 7th grade, and it would be balls out creepy. And not only would it not be funny, but I don't think anybody would put up with it long enough to get anything from it, really.
Right. But we've seen this in sitcoms 100 times.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that wacky girl.
Yeah, but then handled so lightly that but I feel like most of the time in sitcoms it gets handled so flippantly that it doesn't ever land.
Yeah.
This thing managed to kind of slowly over 3 seasons sneak in an insane amount of really maturely handled addressing of mental health issues.
Yeah.
I've convinced my therapist to watch it. Can we just talk about that for a second? Because I came in one day and I was like, do you think I have borderline personality disorder? And I made her give me a test, like for real. I don't, by the way.
Okay, good.
But I mean,
it's not your diagnosis.
That is not my diagnosis. We're still working on it. We'll get there. Don't you worry. But yeah, I was like, you should really check it out. It's an amazing show. Careful, there's music. Are you cool with music? So I always like to tell people.
But it's good to know that you're not a musical fan, but that you really enjoyed this, because I always have trouble selling people, because I know I love musicals, so I'm in the tank when you do a musical, so I don't always know if I could sell this to somebody else.
I like musicals on stage.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I love to hear people say, like, Les Mis, Phantom, Book of Mormon, please. Like,
Sure.
I love that kind, but
like, did you care about any of NBC's live musical, Grease or Sound of Music or
no?
Yeah.
I didn't watch
Peter Pan
Glee.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't like any of the American Idol shows, or I don't want to sit around and watch TV where people are singing. I'd rather laugh.
So I feel like South Park had a song an episode damn near.
Yeah.
For a little while.
there.
Ish.
I feel like Crazy Ex-Girlfriend and those seasons of South Park are only slightly different from each other in terms of scale of musical.
Right.
I mean, like, for a little while there, Cartman broke into a song every fucking episode.
Yeah.
And nobody minded because they're hysterical.
Yeah.
And the same with Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Like, whether I like musicals or not, these are damn funny. Like, I love one of Greg's slow piano songs that they did tonight. Even has some asides in it of, this is the first time I've ever played piano.
Yeah.
Like, they make little asides of like, isn't this weird that we've all turned and started dancing, especially in like Heather's songs where she's walking down the street going, no, don't back me up. Fuck you people.
Yeah.
You know, when strangers fall in line behind her and do the fame dance. And
So, opening credits. Do you guys have a favorite of the seasons? I mean, they've all been perfect for the season they were in. But I do think I loved the season 3 more than any of the rest of them.
Season 3 is the one that ends on her in a
Looking
toilet
at
stall at her
yes.
phone, and I somehow shortcuts always crack me up. Like when you cut an edit just a hair too tight.
Yes.
And so like it cuts a little too fast.
Perfect. Yeah.
Better Call Saul does the same thing, and it makes it feel trashy at the start of Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
It feels like a videotape cut off too short, and it gets the same gag across at the start of season 3's.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite. I think of them, and so far that's my favorite.
I think it's the most telling of our society.
Yeah.
Like, women are supposed to be crazy, but except for when they're really crazy, and then it's not cute unless, it's the sexy crazy. Unless, I mean, like, crazy in bed is one thing. And
And I like that it addresses the like, so I'm sorry, that's a yes or a no on the craze. Do we want that or not?
Yeah.
I love that it addresses that, like, we keep asking for this while bitching about it, right?
Yeah.
Though the season 1 opener,
I really like that.
more than most shows, it really told me what show I was about to sit down
Yeah.
for, and I really needed
Every
to be
time.
prepped for the tone of the show.
Yeah.
I needed to be reminded. They were not making a show that looked really like anything else on TV.
I liked how it led into it on season
Yes.
Yeah,
1, where
yeah.
it was like, so what are you doing here? Well,
Yeah.
and she breaks into it, and it's really,
Yeah.
and it's the same thing every time, but I
Yeah.
like how they break
and it
into
also
it every
reinforced
time.
the I definitely didn't move here for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it also got I love the barbs of hey, quit calling me crazy.
Yeah.
With all the
Yeah.
backup singers, she's like, that's not cool. That's
Yeah.
kind of sexist.
Yeah.
That's a loaded term.
Well, and and I think the second season is another good one too. It's escalation. All of them are undercutting the very. I mean, we've seen this on ABC, especially. The ironic show titles are generally bad. Like you can't do a show that's called Trophy Wife and have it survive, no matter how good it is.
Yeah.
God damn it, where's Trophy Wife? Season 2, I miss it.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can't do those ironic titles, but Crazy Ex-Girlfriend pulls it off. And I think that the songs always sort of undercut and tell you immediately, yeah, that's not what the show's about.
I think if CW had Trophy Wife, it might have survived.
Yeah, that's probably true. So it's ABC's fault.
I'm good with that.
There are certain shows that only really belong on CW.
Yeah, that's true.
And I don't know that Crazy Ex-Girlfriend is one of those because I really love it. And CW's kind of got a weird rap, right? Like,
That's true.
It's a little.
Did NBC do
Riverdale,
Gallivant?
Supernatural.
NBC to Galvin. I don't think Crazy Ex-Girlfriend would have survived past season 1 if
I
it was
don't
on any
think.
other
I
network.
know.
But I don't think they would have. I mean, and I loved Gallivant, but I don't think they would have let this show, despite it being, they're both musicals. That's really about the end of
Yeah.
it. I don't think NBC would have let them be as bold and weird as they are.
CW always seems a little more ballsy.
Yeah.
And I both love and kind of it's weird about them.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, because they know that there's a much smaller percentage watching, and they're all and they think they're all teenage girls, but no one in this room is a teenage girl.
Vampire
I
Diaries.
really
anyone?
wonder if CW understands the sheer volume of 40-something-year-old dudes watching all their shows.
I don't like a lot of the what? I don't like that.
It's true though.
I guarantee it's higher
It's
than you
true
think.
though. It's a higher percentage you
Oh,
think.
but all their stars are like teenagers and things. Mostly.
Yeah, but
Why are you giving me that look?
Have you been outside in America?
as a 40-something male watching 90% of the CW's output, I would like to be clear that it is not for prurient reasons. I want to be clear about this. It's because I like the show.
You watch this Dynasty for research purposes.
And I like superheroes.
Oh wait, do you watch Dynasty?
No, I watched the first episode of Dynasty, and that was it for me.
I got not so far into that
Yeah.
one.
I watched the
Like,
first
well,
episode.
I'll try another CW. No.
Yeah, I watched the first episode because of this, because we do this show, and I was like, I want to try it out. And I didn't hate it, but I'm like, yeah, that was good. I'll never see that again.
I feel like
Yeah.
we're being ruled by Dynasty right now. Why do I want to watch
that's
a TV
exactly,
show about
I
it?
think that was
Ew.
exactly my rant.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch
Yeah.
this for fun. Yeah, I feel like Dynasty's kind of more on brand for them. Crazy X, I'm glad they stuck with it. I remember when HBO's done this before, where they've had a show that was on the bubble and HBO was going to cancel it.
Yeah.
And then it won 5 or 6 Emmys, and
Yeah.
then HBO suddenly was like, you got another season.
Yeah.
I wonder if Crazy X, being such a critic darling
Yeah.
in season 1, does it got raves?
Yeah,
I feel like.
I think
but
that
nobody
probably
watched
helped
it.
a lot. I think that probably helped a lot. I mean, the CW is one of these networks that actually does pay attention to critics because that matters to them. Whereas with the bigger networks, it doesn't. It's not going to make enough.
They're also really quick to drop everything on Netflix, so I feel like they understand the
Yeah.
whatever you call that market, the
And
aftermarket.
they're the
for their
first
shows.
streaming. Yeah,
So far, I think they're one of the only. They have their own streaming app, and it is not tied to a cable login.
no, it's free.
If you
as
want to
long-
watch the CW,
yeah.
you can just watch the fucking CW.
You just pay for the ad. You see the ads.
Yeah,
And you can only watch the last 5. So you got.
Yeah.
So you got to keep up.
you
which
got to
is
keep
smart.
up. Which Hulu
Or
does
you
that
can go
shit
to
too.
Amazon and buy them like I did.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
Hulu
too.
does that too. Weirdly, separately, CW also has CW Seed, which is more free shit.
And various shows that were never on CW.
Yeah,
but probably should have been.
like Moonlight is on there now. The
Yeah.
vampire cop thing. It's just weird.
666 Park Avenue and like shows that were on other networks, but should have always been CW shows. It's a weird thing to do, but I kind of appreciate that it
Yep.
exists.
CW was always really big on the syndication though. Back when I
Yeah.
used to get it on.
So I feel like
true.
maybe they're one of the
Television.
only channels that's really giving a shit about streaming ratings or day after
Yeah.
or later on in this week. Like, whereas like I feel like
Hopefully.
the major networks are only in the last couple of years starting to notice that.
People watch
Some of
that
us-
way.
People got internets on their TV, y'all.
What's a DVR?
You know, I think that the Crazy Ex-Girlfriend belongs in the CW largely because of Jane the Virgin. It's of a piece with that.
Yes.
And Jane the Virgin was always an outlier.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's interesting. I'm glad it's around. You said, Les, we don't have a renewal for season 4 just yet.
As far as I know, there's not a confirmation. I can't imagine that they would not let it finish out. Lisa, you had said you'd seen on something that it was planned as a 4-season.
Maybe it was a dream.
Maybe,
but no, but I don't remember where I saw it, or the internet has all the answers. But
the dark web
probably is exactly where I saw it. But
it
was planned for 4 seasons, and it kind of feels like it would be a 4-season story arc, doesn't it?
Yeah, I can see that.
I
it would
love
wrap
to see
everything up in season 4. Like she has to. Like you start to see that, maybe she has problems in season 1. Season 2, it's like, her life is starting to unravel. Season 3 is you got to deal with this shit.
Yeah,
I'm really wondering if she's gone in jail for season 4, and they're having to work on her appeals. They're not
going to put her in jail.
Well, so they have. I mean, maybe the office has to work on her appeals.
They'll spend
a few episode or 2 trying to get her out. Right?
She's going to have to pay a lot of money for all of his doctor's bills. I'm sure.
I've kind of dug watching The Town in season 3 Paul and all them try to get their shit together in the absence of her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't, as it shouldn't work, but I would weirdly be interested in a season 4 where West Covina is now having to put themselves back together, having had this, 3 seasons of Rebecca run through. And
Rebecca Nato.
Yeah. A tornado made of Rebecca's. And have her, intermixed in there of like, wherever she's going to go next or whatever life she's going to establish next, her setting that up and them getting back. I think that'd be a beautiful way to dovetail it kind of into a series end.
Yeah, I can see it. I don't know. I'm pretty sure we're going to get that season 4.
I really hope we
weird
do.
for them to.
If we don't, riots in the street.
Yes.
Everyone
riots in the
who's
street.
coming with me.
Musical riots.
Musical riot. Do you hear the people sing? Oh wait, that's Les Mis. Sorry, never mind.
It's like you had that at the ready. Lisa's got riot songs, yo.
I do, and they're set in France.
And on that note, I think we probably close this episode out.
All right then, TV Dudes out.
And ladies.
The TV Dudes is an independently run podcast and a member of the Permanent Record Podcast Network. We are exclusively listener supported. If you'd like to help us out, please go to patreon.com/tvdudes. You can like us on Facebook and Twitter @tvdudes and help us out on iTunes by giving us a 5-star rating and writing a review. To find out more about us, go to thetvdudes.com and permanentrcrd.com. I'm Grant Davis. Thanks for listening.